I love their attitude about it. Like, yeah, like a body that's done cool shit is not scar free, right? These are battle scars. These are the reason I have plates in my arm or my leg or whatever is because I do things. And I mean, while I don't want any more plates in my body, I can see where they're coming from.
But Woody, that's the same argument that could be made about not wearing a visor in like men's league hockey, where it's like, yeah, I look at this. I used to have some teeth. People at work are gonna look at me weird tomorrow. But it's like, yeah, that guy's got scars. He does stuff. Whereas you could be like, oh, actually, I was at the same game. I played too. I got all my teeth because I wear a cage.
I used to tell my teammates that didn't wear cages. I'm like, oh, right. Cages are for good-looking people. You don't need one.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I was talking to you guys about like why the NHL players didn't wear full like face gear, and you guys, when you're looking down at the puck, you can get your teeth knocked out and whatever. But then I watched women's hockey. They got a full fucking cage on. Like why don't the men wear that same?
Women's hockey is way different because women's hockey there's limited contact. Like you can't hit the same way.
Really?
The puck is going much, much slower because it just the nature of it. The speed that they're getting to is much slower than like an NHL player like barreling towards you. The mass of the person hitting you, but Taylor, apples and oranges.
In the NHL, you can only wear a full cage if you're recently injured, right?
I believe so. Yeah, because like it's never been in the NHL. It's never been a thing throughout history of like, hey, you guys got to wear these safety devices now. It's always throughout the years been the league more or less being like, hey, you start wearing masks. Okay, you got to wear something. And the players are like, hey, I've been playing since before you were born. You can't tell me to put that on. And they're like, all right, what we're gonna do here is we'll grandfather you in. And so like there were players. There was a dude, the last guy who got grandfathered in to not wear a helmet. Was just this one dude skating around in the fucking 80s with no helmet on, and he's just. Did
he play for the Blues?
Everybody, he may have, but it was like, why are you not wearing a mask? Like everybody else is wearing one, and this hoser's skating around without
a mask,
bucket
a
on.
Helmet. He wasn't
no helmet.
Everyone had a helmet except for McTavish, who, by the way, had an amazingly fast slap shot, and he was good, and he just didn't feel like he needed a helmet. And
fuck.
Yeah,
that's
I don't.
Absurd.
Masks?
You didn't see that in baseball. As soon as they were like, "Hey, you guys want some helmets?" Everybody was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I don't want to be like Chuckles over there, the bat boy who ate one in the forehead last year. He's ever
I'm with the baseball. So when I first played hockey, I didn't have a mask at all, right? And then I played at a facility that required one. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll throw one on my helmet, etc. When I moved and didn't have one required to me anymore, I realized I couldn't play as well. I was less inclined to stand in front of a shot. If for some reason I was on my knees, like trying to dig a puck out, I was worried about my face because you would be, right? On your knees with the pucks and the sticks and everything. But with a cage on, I could focus on the game. I can stand in front of a shot. I can worry about the puck and not my safety. And I'm like, man, if this is making me a worse player and it's more dangerous, there's no winning here. So
Exactly. Yeah, if you're a casual player, there's no reason for it. That picture I linked of that's either Jacques Plante or Terry. I think it's Jacques Plante, one of the first goalies to wear a mask. Because that's what because catchers had been using masks in baseball for decades before they're like, these guys trying to stop the puck should probably be wearing something. Like this guy, he got so damaged in the face that he told his coach, he is like a French dude, he's like, frankly, I do not feel very safe out there. I'm going to wear this mask. And his coach was like, you can wear the mask one game, and then it comes right back off because I don't think you can see the puck as well. And he played well that one game, and the coach was like, I'm still not sold, but I'll give you another game, I guess. He's like, it's amazing how much better I can stop it when I'm not terrified of breaking an orbital bone, using a knife. That kind of...
The fucking terror. I'm not passionate enough about anything to sustain that kind of disfigurement, right? Maybe I'm just too vain. Maybe this guy wasn't very attractive before he became Frankenstein's monster.
No, but imagine, and when you get popped in the face by a puck like that, nobody was even like, oh man, is he all right? Everybody would cheer. Like, hooray! He stopped the puck, and you're like,
you just hear the
I was getting tired of solid food anyway. You know,
you're chanting blood on the ice while you crawl for safety. Like, no, that's fucked. Now, here's a question, Taylor. Would you trade your occupation and your face to be an NHL goalie who looks like that?
If you're a midget.
No, you get
but you got a huge penis.
Yeah. What's the genitals?
You don't even need
I think it's ridiculous scenario.
Kyle, I can't go any further until all these little details are ironed out.
Okay,
genitals. What color's my hair? Yeah,
red.
I mean, if it is in the era he played in.
No, today.
Oh, today. And
here's
so, like,
you're going to be the starting goalie for the Blues, but you look like this guy. You have his battle scars on your face.
I got to.
Oh, for sure, I'd do it. Yeah. I got cuts, scars all over my face, but I'm a professional athlete. It's not like I'm a back alley knife fighter that sustained these injuries. Like people like.
Back alley knife fighters look better than this.
But you can recover from that a lot. Like some of those scars are fresh, so they're gonna fade, and some of them need to be fixed. I can see that, but you can fix them.
You can. I would definitely do it. Think of how much money you make.
Putty?
No, they actually cut the scar out and then sew it up professionally.
Did you show the audience the picture of this man?
They're looking at it right now.
Good. I want you guys to vote on just how crazy Taylor is right now. Forget the question.
I feel like Kyle's vanity is playing a huge role. Like, you can't have facial scars. This guy will still get pussy. He's rich and famous.
Yes, he's a professional athlete, and he got his scars from playing a professional sport. And so already
he looks like a villain from Sin City.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull a ton of pussy as Mr. Villain who plays for the Blues in St. Louis.
I would get twice the pussy that you would get as the Blues goalie that looks like this as a midget with an 8-inch cock.
I mean, you can't just assert things like that.
I just did.
Fuck. You're right.
Game breaker.
I disagree. I would because you know what you would do? You'd be in your fucking smart car with your little dial to accelerate and whatnot, and I'm gonna be rolling all scarred and everything, a lot of scar tissue, but that's all right. In like a Maserati, right down the road. Or a Lamborghini, whatever. I don't care.
None of these Italian cars are getting you to the end of this road.
Yeah. Okay,
you're kind of screwed. I'm going to be in a Fiat.
And you're going to be looking around with your one good eye.
Trying to get a jump.
No, I would definitely do better than you because I'm a professional athlete in this scenario.
He's an actor, probably.
I'm an actor.
But
I'm fucking Frodo or something.
But you're a dwarf. But think about my dick. Think about this dwarf dick. All right, I played out everything we're gonna say.
Well, that disfigured goalie is just that's just too ugly for. I wouldn't want. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
How much do goalies make in the NHL?
A starting goalie?
Like it depends.
No,
on how good they are.
Yeah, it was the deal.
Like
starting goalie.
Top 20%.
Like Carey Price, I think he makes like 10 or 11 million a year.
Really?
But that's towards
impressive.
the high end, right?
He's on the high end. Like I think the Blues starting goalie right now makes like 5, maybe 6 million.
I had no idea. It just seems like it's such a shit sport, I figured those guys were making 30,
well, it's
40.
No NASCAR. Sorry, Georgia.
The living expense.
First of all, I don't like NASCAR. To be fair, I don't like it.
Thanks, Woody.
But NASCAR is a much bigger sport, right? It's a much bigger sport.
Is it? I wonder how much like the 12th best NASCAR driver makes.
Woody, do you notice this too? When because I have friends who are like big soccer fans, and they like to do the whole hockey joke thing of like, oh, how many people are watching this? Like 3 dozen, and it's always like, oh, that doesn't really matter. Like enough, like I enjoy the sport. They never come at hockey saying that it's not fun or that it's pussy or that it's stupid like that. It's always, oh, there's nobody fucking watching this. Yeah, go hang out with the other 1.1 billion people watching a lot of very frequently injured men run across the field. Like, that's fine. So I've watched soccer games before. It's not boring. It's good enough. It's just a little too slow. But I'm not. I always notice that. It's the thing they come at with is oh, not enough people are watching.
Why don't
it's like,
they change
that's fine.
hockey? I'm sorry. Why don't they change soccer to be higher scoring? Like, I'm a non-soccer fan, and I get that this would be sacrilege to people who think the game is perfect as it is. But I swear, there are too many 0-0 ties, and I think you guys know that. And I think that you know when a game is 2-1, that's not quite right. How cool would it be if it was 2-1 in the first half, and you knew that other team had a real shot of winning like 4-2? Like, that would be neat. And that happens in hockey all the time.
And again, sacrilege coming from someone who knows very little about the sport, never played it or anything. But why don't we make the field smaller, right? Like get those goals closer to each other so the action is more. There's less of that kicking the ball all the way across the field and then everybody runs to the other end and back. Like it seems like there's a lot of just hustling back and forth and the ball being kicked really far instead of. It seems like if the field were closer together, right?
It's just if the goals were closer,
and then
but I also don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, put it on
absolutely
ice.
Absolutely, checking.
Put some sticks in there. Get rid of that big ball. I think a small piece of vulcanized rubber. You know. Well, before you know it, we're gonna be having a blast.
That's already sport, right? What's that sport called?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
I'm from a poor high school. We didn't have that shit, right? You know?
I don't think most high schools have a lacrosse team.
It's too violent.
We didn't, but fuck, I forgot where I was going.
Taylor,
basketball. I was talking to friends. I was watching basketball the other day, like more because people are either hockey fans or basketball fans for the most part because it happens at the exact same time every year, so you can't really follow both unless you're like a no-lifer sports fanatic. And like it was entertaining. I watched it, but like there was a clip where it was like it was on Reddit. And this was after I'd watched the game with some friends. And it was like, look at this. Like, nobody can miss. It was like one team went over, three-pointer. The other team goes over, scores. And then like 6-7 times in a row, like quick succession. Like, boom, boom. And at first it's like, man, this is like, that's really impressive. That takes a lot of skill to sink those shots under pressure like that. It definitely does. There's no questioning that. But then after like the 5th score or 6th one in a row, I'm like, I'm really trying to recognize this. Where the fuck is the defense? Is there defense here? Like, it seems like anytime you get in someone's way, they call a foul and then you get a free shot. It's like, I don't know. I think they need a little more physicality in basketball. Like, you should be able to do a little more shoving, maybe.
It's a
like
mix,
not throwing bows or anything.
And trampolines.
Just to throw a counter argument, I'm not a basketball genius, but basketball has less physicality than hockey, undeniable. But basketball's evolved into an air game with like they fly under the net and then not alley-oop, but like do these reverse layups and like amazing athletic feats have happened in basketball. Where I'd say in hockey, it's evolving much more slowly, and I think it's because of the physicality. These players in practice can do 360 spins, passing off their own skate to themselves. Like they have a grip on this puck that I could only dream of. But they can't do it in a game because someone will just check them off their feet. So it's the reason hockey looks a lot like it did 15 years ago, just faster, because they get hit.
Yeah, you can't be cheeky.
I gotta say, I know I'm in the minority here amongst not just this group, but all of our listeners and everything. I don't have the patience for any of the major sports. I really like UFC because I know when I sit down that in the next 15 minutes, some shit's going down. Mm-hmm. It's one way, and at any second, that man could die. I mean, it's possible. It doesn't happen, but it hasn't happened yet.
Could.
But it
Smaller
could.
Shows.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally people fucking die.
No, I like the UFC. UFC is good. I used to be a hockey fan when the Thrashers were in Atlanta. And then they left.
They were in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I like college football. But
it's easy to this time of year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, college football and UFC for my television spectator sport. I've never been to a baseball or basketball game. So,
are you a UGA fan or Georgia Tech?
West Virginia.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
There's room on the bandwagon.
Cross it there.
Yeah. I now, like one game into the season, maybe two, I was like, all right, bandwagon time. Let's go UGA. And like, I picked a good year to hop on the bandwagon.
Good year.
I'm here in Georgia too, so it's
where in Georgia?
Northeast Georgia, really close to South Carolina, but I'm moving into the city tomorrow. I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow.
So